Can you see me?
Honey, honey, baby, baby, you're my everything. For you.
In the world of makeup, it's an art form, right? There's no right or wrong way to accomplish anything. I love on a daily basis creating a look that is natural, that looks like we're wearing nothing, that just kind of highlights our best features. I do enjoy seeing that we're moving towards brighter colors. I do like to see that people are tight lining. Tight lining is when you take a crayon style eyeliner and you place it on the inside of your waterline of your eye. So it's not gonna be under the eye, but it's gonna be on the inside. And if you remember back in 2010, during all of our like gothic emo times, a lot of people were wearing their eyeliner like that. It was the highest trend. And I've noticed that we've started to tight line our under eye again to create that really smoky, blown out look. But there's actually another way you can tight line too that's a little bit more challenging, which is when you actually tight line your upper waterline underneath kind of where your mascara would be, and that actually will elongate your lashes. So if you're not a fan of the tight water lining down here because you feel like it closes your eyes, if you actually go under your mascara, it actually can open your eyes, which is fun. We've been all about blush, and we're still gonna be all about blush, but we're moving towards kind of like a blush bronze situation. And if you like bronzer, but you always feel that maybe it comes across as like too orange, or you're confused about like bronzing and contouring, and you're just like not quite sure how to get there yet, a really, really cool technique you can use is actually under bronzing, which is when you use a tinted bronzer, maybe in a liquid form, possibly in a powder form, underneath your tinted moisturizers or your foundations. And if you just kind of like, you can be messy about it, you can kind of just put it wherever you'd like it to kind of be. And then if you take your foundation or your tinted moisturizer and place it over top, you're gonna receive a bronzed look that maybe isn't too sharp, that maybe isn't too choppy, and you can kind of conceal as you go at any place that you wouldn't want to be bronzed, or would want to be bronzed. A common mistake that I see people do when we're on TikTok or when we're on Instagram Reels and we're looking at makeup trends is you see a really beautiful look and you want to recreate it at home, and someone is using a lot of product. Let me tell you right now, you do not need that much product. Less is more. Always start with just a little bit of blush, a little bit of mascara. You do not need that giant gloppy, messy mess. Feel free to wipe off the wand, right? We want to start with a small amount of product and build from there. I promise you, it's gonna look better. There is a color that I feel is coming up in makeup trends right now that I'm really, really excited about, and it's greens. When we think of natural beauty, we tend to think of browns and pinks, right? Or nudes and pinks, because that's kind of what our complexion is. But when you look at nature, when you look all around you, what is partnered in with all of the nudes and the browns of the world is green. And it really does help our nudes and pinks to pop even more. And so if you can pick it doesn't matter if it's a dark shade of green, it doesn't matter if it's a lighter shade of green, but if you can take just like a little bit of green and incorporate it somewhere in the eye, I feel like it just helps make your entire face pop. Skincare prep. Skincare prep is going to do all of the heavy lifting for you. It is going to make it so you can wear less makeup, and therefore that makeup will last longer at the end of the day. Instead of doing a full face and wondering why it doesn't look natural, if we just prep a little bit with skincare, that can be your primers, that can be your makeup, skin prep type situations, your liquid bronzers, things like that. If we just do a little bit more prep, it's going to create that super natural look and it'll do the heavy lifting for you. Yeah! Okay, so in New York City, it is now mandatory for every single apartment building to have a compost bin. So you can go down to the basement of your apartment building or possibly outside where they keep the garbage, and you can compost everything in your home. And if you're wondering, well, where should I keep my compost when I'm not ready to take it down to the bin yet? You can actually keep it in your freezer. And it makes your house less sticky. Caitlin! Hi! I'm so glad you could join us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
My pleasure! So today, we're gonna use some Beauty in the City products.
Okay.
I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna add like a nice pop of berry into your skin. We're also gonna do a little bit of the 90s supermodel glow.
Oh my gosh, I haven't tried that. Today's the day.
Yeah!
Today's the day. Yes.
Beautiful. So we're gonna focus on choosing some bronzier tones.
Okay.
Like in the world of using one product for multiple uses, I'm actually gonna take just a little bit of our blush today. And I'm gonna place just a little bit of this on the outer corner of your eye. When you use a makeup brush for eyeshadow, you always wanna hold the very end of the brush. This is the shade Satisfied, which it is definitely satisfying. This is matching back, I'm sorry.
Okay, it's good.
This is matching back to your top so beautifully.
Really excited to see it. I guess I would classify as Gen Z. I know what's trending in makeup is definitely like glowy looks and then like the soft girl makeup ideas. I love lip combos. Those are my absolute go-to. Specifically, like I love playing with the brown like chestnut liner and going in with pinks and like berries. I love that. So you're asking people if green tea can completely replace skincare methods like retinol or hyaluronic acid? The truth is, green tea offers antioxidant benefits but shouldn't replace clinically proven ingredients. So you're asking people if green tea provides immediate results? The truth is, significant benefits require continuous use. So you're asking people if pomegranate alone provides collagen production and glowing skin? The truth is, while the antioxidants do offer benefits, a healthy diet and sunscreen are crucial. I am so looking forward to the fact that they're vegan and like they just prioritize healthy skin. I know some products that we have, we're really worried about how long they'll last, but some of them are not made with the healthiest ingredient. And when we have these products sitting on our face for 24, even like longer hours, we want something that's gonna help our skin barrier, not break it down. So I'm really excited to see how these products perform on my skin.
Now, again, talking about multi-use products, I'm actually going to use a highlighting stick from Beauty in the City. I'm going to warm it up on the back of my hand first, just let my body heat warm it up a bit. It's very universal too. It would look nice on me. It's going to look nice on Caitlin today too. And then I'm going to take a small little brush. I'm just going to lightly dust this across the eye. I'm also making sure to get the inner corner of your eye. It's a nice highlight. Take a peek at the midway process.
Yeah, I've never put blush over here. Like in my outer. That is so pretty.
It's really good on your eye shape too.
Yeah, and that looks like shadow.
Yeah, it is
Wow.
shadow.
But like
is shadow.
Oh my gosh, but it's like the multiple use of one product. That is so cool.
You don't need a lot. You just need the good stuff. So there's a trend we were discussing earlier, tight waterline. A lot of people, they will tight waterline the bottom under eye, which is cute, but a fun trick is actually to tight waterline the top part of your lid, because it'll actually make your lashes look longer, which is fun. It's not actually tricky, it just seems tricky. But what you're gonna do for me is you're actually just gonna keep your eyes looking down, and I'm gonna get up into your tight waterline, okay?
Okay.
Oh, you were, that was stunning. But I want you to look at the difference between this eye really quick and that eye.
Yeah, but I see it.
But you see it, right?
I see it.
Okay, fun tip about mascaras. You don't need a lot of it. We should be wiping these suckers off once we pull out the wand. Obviously, I'm gonna use a tester wand right now, but this amount of product that I have, that is too much product, okay? We want less. You're gonna keep tissues now in your bathroom or at your vanity, and all you have to do is take your mascara wand and just give it a wipe before you put mascara on. The lash fibers are still on here, I promise you. Oh, the fibers are still fibering. If you ever get mascara on your face, on your lid, just let it dry. And once it dries, you honestly can just flake it off. It'll come right off. But if you smear it while it's wet, it's gonna ruin everything. But like I just made the oopsie poopsie. I got a little bit of mascara on her where there should not be mascara. I'm gonna let it dry. At the very least, if you don't wanna wipe off your mascara wand, just take the tube and at least clean it off on the tube, and then you can put that product back inside once you place the wand back inside. Right, so one thing I love about this mascara is it's gonna create that super perfect natural lash. If you want to look like you have the most natural long lashes, this mascara is for you. Also good for your vacation bag. We're trying to save space in the suitcase. You want to be able to do a nice eye look for when you're going out to dinner. Guess what? You can use the same blush and same highlighter.
Wow. Because it even looks like you might have even taken a third shade in one of the inner corner just because it has that little lightness to it. This is actually for New Year's. I was like, you know what? Let me use some industrial like setting spray. I really need this to hold. So we're taking the train, we're getting to our location. My makeup is like set. We take the train, we get in like near our location. I'm like, I really have to use the bathroom. Oh my gosh. So I get off the subway and it's raining cats and dogs. And I don't realize this until I'm all the way like outside and I've like already run halfway through. So I run all the way back. I like dab, I'm trying to like save whatever could be left my mascara. Everything's probably dripping. And I go into the bathroom and my face has stain. And I am shocked. And I was like, wait a second, this looks like almost as if this never happened. Like I was shocked. I was like, oh my goodness, God. Thank you. This is a story about this guy that I met when I was still in school. His name is Ty. We met on campus. We got on really well and you know, we got socials, exchange, things like that. So, you know, I go home, I tell my sweet mate, who also happens to be one of my closest friends. So I'm like, yeah, I know this guy, like he seems really cool, like everything's great. And then he asked me like to dinner and I'm like, yeah, absolutely, like let's do it. I tell her about him and funny enough, she's like, oh my gosh, I have a date tonight too, like let's go, like let's get ready together, da 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 da. So like it's fun, like we're doing the whole like girls, like okay, what are you gonna wear, helping each other like makeup, oh what are you gonna do today? So it's like a whole like, you know, moment. So we're in the park, everything's going really well. And he's like, all right, let's get food, like I know this like cute like taco spot like we can head out to. And we arrive and you know, we're sitting chatting, everything's great. And all of a sudden he looks over and he sees his roommate. And he's like, oh snap, that's my roommate. And I turn around and guess who's sitting with him?
That's your roommate.
Jade! And I'm like, oh my goodness, no way. So we literally look and like they invite us over to their table and we just make it like one huge thing. And it was just so funny because we were literally talking about this before and like planning this together, not even knowing like, dude, we're like planning the same day. Like it was so funny.
So nice.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Wait, that's a sweet story.
That's a sweet one, right?
Yeah.
Most people are like, and then he did this. I think it's... Sorry, please excuse my face at any moment in this process. I make lots of little faces. We are now going to just kind of gently carve out her beautiful eyebrows. Just a little bit of fill-in and then maybe just a little bit of the extension of the tail. I love how thin this tip is. This is the only way to go. It allows me to fill in spaces as well as get precise strokes. And then we have our nice spoolie on the end just to lightly blend. Nice and easy. You do not have to overcomplicate this. God gave you beautiful things, just follow the path. And then, after you fill in to your liking, you just take the spoolie. Stunning! Your eyebrows still look like your eyebrows.
Mine.
But now they're just filled in a little bit.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, when it comes to creating a eyebrow shape that is not your own, that you want to perfect and emphasize, I always say draw the shape that you'd like, and then if you need to tweeze, then you tweeze. That way you have the outline of what it is. So if you do not like your natural brow shape, or you don't have a natural brow shape, one of my favorite things to recommend is, instead of all of a sudden going in with tweezers and plucking out your eyebrows to create some kind of shape, go ahead and fill in the brow in the shape that you're interested in. As a reminder, your eyebrows are cousins. They're not twins, they're maybe sisters. So they don't have to look exactly the same, they just have to complement your face. So create whatever shape you're interested in with your eyebrow pencil. And then if you notice any stray hairs that kind of don't fit within those lines, go ahead and tweeze those. Just don't get tweezer happy. Don't get too crazy. And an important note, if you have no eyebrow and we're starting from scratch, is the best way that you're able to create your own eyebrow is take your pen, you'll create a dot where your eye starts, you'll create a dot where your eye ends, and then you're gonna create a dot in the center where your pupil is, and that'll be your arch. And then you can kind of connect those dots and go from there. And then, as you're going along on your journey, whichever kind of eyebrows you have, carving things out. If something's not looking quite right, if they are definitely not looking like cousins, but looking like distant friends, or whatever it may be, you can take a nice angled brush and either leave it naked, or you can place a little bit of concealer on it, and we can kind of carve out certain areas that maybe we put a little too much product. So right underneath here for her brow, I just feel like I didn't quite accomplish this shape quite right. So I'm just gonna kind of blend a little bit and lighten the tail, just so it looks a little bit more complementary to the other side. Okay, going back in, tap, 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 tap. And if you're ever wondering, well, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start putting this. If you hit kind of where your hair meets your ear, that's oftentimes gonna be a good spot. And then you can just kind of bring it forward. Fluffy brush, blend upward, that way we don't drag down the face. And remember, always start with less. You can add more, but you can't take it away, especially with a powder product. I will say though, these powders are very, very easy to blend. I appreciate it. There you are. There she is, beautiful girl. So Beauty in the City has some really, really beautiful highlighting products. And I know we've kind of moved away from highlighter, but let's be perfectly clear, highlighter is still one of my favorite products. You can never, you can rip it from my cold dead body, especially this. So this is called Beige Lights. We used this earlier on the eye, and we see that it's beautiful. It adds dimension to the skin, but it doesn't feel too heavy, too chunky, too like evening, right? It feels like it can kind of transition. I want to take this same exact shade, and I'm actually going to place just a little bit of this on her Cupid's bow above her lip before lining. That's going to outline that Cupid's bow for me, as well as just add some nice dimension before we put in darker colors. And if we're traveling, if we're at home, if we don't have a ton of makeup brushes at home, you can actually use the same exact brush that you used on your eye with this highlighter on your upper lip. Or if this is your product at home, you can just go directly in on the skin. We're trying to keep things a little more cleanly here. And look at that. She has a nice, juicy Cupid's bow. She's already very gifted in the lip department. So we're just highlighting right above the lip line. It has added a lot more dimension to that Cupid's bow, and it will make it easier now for you to lip line. So now we're gonna line the lips, okay? You might have seen some trends where you can do an X at the Cupid's bow to create that dimension. That's great. If that helps you, please do that. Something else that I think is helpful is actually if you do your X and then also just make sure to hit this bottom portion down here, it'll help you in the future to kind of like connect the lines. I'm a professional, so I'm just gonna go crazy, but do as I say, not as I do. And we're using the shade, this is Mousse. I thought it was saying that it was creamy and delicious. It's the shade Mousse. And I find this shade pretty universal. I too would also use this on myself. All right, so fun facts about lip liner. It doesn't have to be perfect, because most of the time when you're lip lining, you're going to either A, put lipstick on top of it, or B, you can blend it. So I'm just gonna take a small little brush, because I'm gonna put a lip gloss on. I'm just gonna blend out some of these edges on the inside of the lip, just to make it seem a little bit more seamless. In talking about ways that we're using 90s trends, but have updated them, if you remember in the 90s, they would have really hard lip liner and then a different color. We like to blend our lip liners in now, so we still have that nice line, but it doesn't feel like a hard, fast transition. Tell me what you think of this color. I just want you to...
Oh, I like it. Yeah, what shade is this again?
This is mousse, a very cute mousse. Make all the boy mousse go wah. Now last but certainly not least, we're gonna use the shade Love Letter. This is a lip oil. It feels really cushiony on the lips, but not too sticky. Again, another universal shade. I really mean it. A lot of brands say like universal shade. Actually, universal shade.
Real deal.
Whoa. Whoa. Gorgeous, and she's a gorgeous girl. Thank you.
We're on. I'm always on, but I hope you can help me.
We've had a really fun time chatting so far, and we're gonna chat some more, but this time with you guys with us. We've been talking about beauty trends, and we've been talking about
My lack of them.
it's okay, that's my job. You don't have to know anything. So, you have a really beautiful warm undertone, and I want to highlight that in your skin. I'm going to do something called underpainting, or in this term, we're going to use under bronzing, where I'm going to take some of this face and body bronzer. I'm going to pump a little bit onto my hand and let it warm up, let the skin do its business. I did sanitize, I just sanitized. Always sanitize, very important. And I'm going to take a nice like angled fluffy brush, and I'm going to tap into that product on the back of my hand. And I'm going to go in an E shape along Gay's face here. So right here, the top of the E, the middle of the E. And then we're going to go down through the jawline here. You see how we have this really hard kind of E shape or 3 shape on the face right here? We're seeing kind of the under bronzing happening or contouring. She has a warm undertone, so I like to keep it kind of bronzy. We're gonna soften this up now by taking a little bit of a tinted moisturizer or a lightweight foundation and kind of just go all over the face. You don't have to be too careful about it. But what it's gonna do is it's gonna soften some of these transitions, but we're still gonna have a nice bronzy glow. I love these little plates. You don't have to have a lot of fancy stuff though. You can use a small dish and the back of your makeup brush to mix. I have just used a foundation and a bit of serum to create a tinted moisturizer. That's what the industry doesn't want you to do. And see how, just by filling in, kind of haphazardly, not using a lot of technique in this process, you don't have to be careful because it's just helping smooth the transition. And feel free to go over top of where you have bronzed. So now she has
One side of the face.
a sunny glow on one side. It's very subtle, that's the point, that's what we're going for here. But we've just added a little bit more chisel and a little bit more warmth. And if at any point you're like, oh no, I need a little bit more bronze, you just go back in and you bronze her up a little bit more. And I like this product, this face and body bronzer, because it's both kind of a skin prep as well as a makeup product. You can use it before, during, after. It's not really disturbing much. It's not causing the foundation to move. You can see the lift in this side of her face immediately.
Who doesn't love it?
Not a single person.
Do I look like
Look straight for us.
I got a million of them.
Okay,
That's
great.
how old I am. So I was living in a place called Little Five Points, and I looked out my window one day, and there was a man headed with a shotgun to the back. But the house behind me was full of drug dealers. So I did what any sensible woman would do. I went into the bathroom, shut the door, and got to the bathtub. I just like hovered in there for the next 2 days until I knew he was gone. And then I came out and picked up the landline and called the police. And then the police showed up and they arrested him. And I'm driving down the street and I hear, Gay von Abner, Gay von Abner. I'm the world's worst driver. So it could have been any of 100 things where I was so scared, like, ah! And I get all petrified and I pull over. And it's the same policeman who came, and he was very handsome. And he asked me out on a date. And I went out on a date with a very handsome policeman.
A little spooky. I can see your worry there.
The weird thing about this guy, he had no sense of humor at all. It was ridiculous. Like, he didn't know if I was kidding. He didn't know if he was kidding. You know, he could make a joke. It was to the point of insanity. So it was so hard to have a conversation with somebody when there's not even a smile or anything. I'd never encountered anybody like that before. So that was a little weird. I mean, that was the funniest thing he did, was pulling me over. It was weird.
Not a lot of personality. And you have a lot of personality.
Weird. It was weird, yeah. We also thought everybody was guilty of something.
Oh, that's
What are
a
you
tough
guilty
one.
of?
Ooh, not enough.
Being too much fun.
Not enough. I'm just getting started. This is fantastic because I'll be able to watch a video and do this myself.
Yes, ma'am. Your eyes are blue or are they green?
Green. What?
Green. So, Coral is for everyone. There is a shade of coral for every single person. Whenever someone has a light colored eye like this, she has a green eye, if there's little hints of blue in there, I know I can see it. I feel like the sun is bringing out some beautiful dimensions. Across from the color wheel of blues and greens, right? Blue across the color wheel is orange. So by adding this coral blush, you can instantly see her eyes pop. Oh, this is Miami! Yeah.
One of my favorites. Yes.
Love Miami. And it looks like it would be too bright, right? This is the color light brown. We talked about this earlier, and we're going to talk about this call out again. If you have light colored hair, it's very likely that your eyebrows are also lightly colored. So they do not need to be black. They can just exist. But we're going to fill these puppies in just a little bit so we have a little bit more dimension to the face. Take a little spoolie, brush them out. You can use both a light brown or a blonde pencil depending on the day. I would say let your brows predict that. Some people have very white eyebrows. I would argue that the low lights in her hair match more of her eyebrows. So she has a little bit more of like a very, very light brown. And we could do a blonde too, but I just wanted to make them a little bit more prominent. I would also argue that you can have both. Oh, yeah, look at you, you got a brow.
Hey.
We're gonna do a little bit of lining. This is the color Spice. She has a really beautiful light pink tone to her lips. However, because we went in this like bronzy corally direction, I kind of want to bring that bronze to the lip as well. I'm just gonna line very lightly. I'll fill in a bit. And then we're gonna take a little bit of our lip oil. This is the color Unbutton. It's a little bit of a mocha. Yeah, we're keeping it with that bronzy kind of feel, but it'll still capture her natural lip color. How's this feel on the lips? Good.
Never change how you love me. OTP.
So this is a funny dating story. When I was in college and we were all kind of starving to death, I got asked out on a date and I was thrilled. Mostly because it meant somebody else was paying for the meal. And my date said to me, after we looked at the menu and my mouth was watering, I'm like, oh boy, and I'm going to take half of what I'm ordering home to my roommate. And he said, I'm just having a grilled cheese sandwich. What are you just having? Which kind of took the air out of the room. I did not go out with him again. I'm not subtle, but my foundation is. Get rid of all those brown spots.
They're gonna be gone today, honey.
Great. So I wasn't asked out on very many dates, hard to believe, I know. And my mom and my dad were off at some dental convention somewhere. And I got asked to the movies, and I was young, I think I was 15. And I was so excited because I knew that if my mom were around, there was no way she'd let me go to the movies. So that's not my taste, my terrible taste. I love these pants. I had elephant bells that were so big that it was ridiculous. And when my date saw them after I snuck out into the movies, he said, are you wearing 2 skirts? That's how bad they were. It was a double feature. It was a James Bond double feature. And he reached over and he held my hand, which I was so excited about. My whole arm is going numb and clammy, and all I want is for him to let go. All through Goldfinger, which is embarrassing. No, that's how young I am. They didn't care. And Dr. No. And I got the dead arm here. And he ghosted me after all that. I don't know whether it was the 2 skirts or the clamminess of my arm. Maybe both. He just couldn't take it. He shall go unnamed.
I'm about to give you all of me. Love on me.
You should never compliment people while trying to put lip liner on them.
Keep going. Just tell me about how I'm going to look beautiful.
You already do look
It's funny.
Can I put on bright blue eyeshadow?
You can if you want to. Can you look at me?